It's been a minute since I've been able to go live. My schedule, my life has opened up. No. Can you hear me? Let's pull up my van closer to the house. See if this helps. Am I pixelated? I'm gonna pull up closer. Oh, I got full bars now. I'm sitting in my driveway and getting ready to go pick up my kids. Yes, today's day one of switching from homeschooling to Montessori, so I'm very excited about that. So my schedule is cleared up so much more so I can go live more. And I have like maybe 10 minutes, so I just wanted to come live because the doors closed last night to the No Rules Branding School, and since yesterday I had so many technical difficulties and it was Sunday and so many people messaged me and they're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I get it. I'm a busy mom. I'm a business owner. I got 3 kids under 6. I get it. So I decided to reopen the doors for another 24 hours. So they will close tonight at midnight, and they actually have to close tonight because tomorrow afternoon is our kickoff party. And so I just wanted to let you know, and I need to take a deep breath because I'm like so excited to go live right now. Okay, so I want to do a quick, I want to do a quick Q&A. And so if you have any questions, you can ask them, but I wanted to just talk about my story really quick in case you don't know me, in case you don't know my story. So I actually have been doing social media full time for the last 14 years. For over a decade, I actually mentored thousands of women on how to grow businesses online and how to in sales, marketing, and mostly what I excel at is attraction marketing, authenticity, personal branding, reinvention. Since over the course of the last 14 years, I started my business. I did that for 8 years with I'm sitting in, this is my mom mobile, my Sprinter van. I call it the content machine. You know your vans. I didn't have kids for the first 8 years I was building my business. So then when I had 2 under 2 and then now a third, I noticed that there was a lack of clarity and space for women and working moms and people who are constantly in reinventions. There was a really solid kind of 8 years where my life was really consistent. And then I think in 2020, all of us went through a lot of changes. And I think we're still going through a lot of changes. And I think a lot of us are still trying to find our way. And with the advent of that, you can't scroll on Instagram for 2 seconds without seeing somebody be like, try this viral hook. This is how much money I'm making, buy my thing, blah, 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 blah. And I get that, which is why I really try to steer away from that kind of content, because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm just kind of sick of seeing it. And if that's the only way that people know how to market, then I'm afraid that they have never actually built a business other than marketing to people online for their online courses or how to build a following. And as somebody who actually built a business and has been doing that through social media for business and has actually built multiple business, actually in the last couple years, I actually have built multiple businesses, including my husband. I really want to help people to not feel so overwhelmed and frustrated with social media. I would say my heart and my passion really lies with small businesses and people not understanding how to use social media correctly. I don't know about you, but over the last couple years, it's like I couldn't open up my app once without seeing a small business closing their doors, and every single small business would have the same kind of spiel. It would be in regards to supply chain, but mostly blaming social media, mostly blaming the algorithm, saying that, due to the changes in the algorithm, nobody's seeing our content anymore. But then I would go to their page and I'm like, well, because your content is not up to date, because the way that you're marketing, the way that you're sharing your products, and there's no personal brand here. I don't even know who owns this store. That is the biggest issue. The lack of understanding around the fact that, there is a way and a strategy and a way to, to market yourself and your business in 2025 that's completely different than in 2015, when, Instagram was a completely different beast. So I just wanted to share a story from my last round of the school. Oh, let me put the link here for the page of the No Rules Branding School so that you can go and look at the testimonies. I'm a natural skeptic, so I tried to cram as many testimonies as I could onto that page. Oh, man, I need to breathe. Hold on. I crammed as many, I have literally 5 minutes, so I'm trying to talk super fast. I crammed as many testimonies from the last round on there because I want you to see what's possible through what other people have done in 90 days. So actually, and this testimony is not on there, and I wanted to share with you because I have an extension program for the women who went through the last round, and like 45 of them continued working with me, so I can continue to help them with their businesses beyond, the 12 weeks of the branding school. But one of them, Christina, actually, she just shared, so she joined the No Rules Branding School. She wasn't sure where she wanted to go with her social media. She had been creating content pretty consistently for 10 years. She built a successful network marketing business, actually. So if you're in social selling, UGC, affiliate programs, network marketing, all that kind of stuff, all of that applies to not just like, brick and mortar businesses, which, by the way, if you have a brick and mortar business or a coaching business or real estate or any business, and you don't know how to use Instagram or you're not using it correctly, like, you really, really need to understand that you're missing out on a huge opportunity to be able to connect with people and to serve people that you want to help. So she joined the school. She didn't know what direction she wanted to go in. She was kind of like in this like self-discovery kind of era. I think there was a lot of women in my last round who were in self-discovery eras. Empty nesters, people who were kind of fed up with their corporate jobs, and also people who had established business, painters, jewelry makers, and scientists, all kinds of people. And but Christina, she took a bread baking class when she first started the school, and she loved it so much that she decided to start a bread baking business. And she launched her bread baking business about 60 days into the school. So she started in October. She applied everything that I taught her. She started in the 10 years that she had been on social media and showing up consistently, she said she had never had reach the way she had in the No Rules Branding School. She had 500% increase in her reach, and she launched her bread baking business in December. She went on vacation for 2 weeks, and due to her reels and her reach, she had people locally buying from her that she had never talked to before, that were just finding her through her social media. She made $1,800 when she came back from vacation, and she has made back her investment and then plus made a profit in her business. And now she's starting another business, which is a very unique business that she's doing with something that she's passionate about, like something just so unique. I think it's like China renting. China set. I don't know. It's a very unique business. It's very, very specific to her. And that's the cool thing about it, is like a successful business can be anything you want it to be, as long as your passions intersect your strengths, right? And so often we don't go after the things we want to do, but I can every single time. So this is where I excel as a business coach and a lifestyle coach, is that if I was to sit next to you, we were to sit here and I could have one-on-one time with you and we were just talking. If you wanted to do something else other than what you were doing, I could pull that out of you, right? I could help you to see like, oh yeah, I've thought about that. And so often a lot of women are like, oh, I've thought about that. I'm like, but why haven't you tried? Why haven't you done it? And it's because of what's up here. And this is why the immersion part of the program is so important, and why just buying courses kind of falls flat, because you need to be able to be in there and be coached and group coached, and also with the community, and be able to get feedback. And that's one of the things I offer in that 12 weeks is live feedback, weekly coaching through group coaching, and the ability to be able to bring your frustrations and when you get stuck to a group, where if you're trying to make content on your own, it can be really frustrating and overwhelming because you don't really know what's going on. And so in the modules, I teach you, especially in the Metrics Over Emotions module, I teach you how to use the data to stop having feelings about your content, and stop using your content to feel validated, and start using it to actually create a business. I was full-time doing social media for an online business before I even started my Instagram in 2013. So I have never used this app for anything other than connecting with my community, growing my community, serving my community, for business purposes, and for, connecting with people, not in a consumer way, but in a creator way. And so it's really about flipping that switch, because most people have only used Instagram for entertainment or Instagram for escapism, and the amount of time that you have spent on Instagram. Now think about this for a second. How many hours, okay, you might not know this, but how many years have you spent on Instagram? When did you start coming on Instagram, and how many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many hours have you spent on this app, and you are not being compensated for that time, right? And if you were to flip the switch from somebody who's being a consumer to somebody who's using all of that time to create something, and now listen, I know that your brain is now saying, well, it's too late, it's like this, it's oversaturated, There is literally billions of people on this app from all over the world. So that is the biggest crock of shit. And if you know how to build a personal brand, no matter how many people are on here, it doesn't matter, because they are connecting with you and you are the product essentially. There is nobody who can do you or how you, oops, my daily limit timer went off. I have a daily limit timer and it went off. So anyway, but the way that you do things is not going to be the way that anybody else does things. And I think that's the thing that most people don't understand, is how unique you are and how amazing you are, and your philosophies and the way that you see the world and your experiences and how you express yourself. Like, yeah, sure, there's haters, but more people are going to celebrate you, want to be around you when you are more confident, you show up more confidently. And so of course, that's something I offer in the school too, which is a very unique way to business and coaching, is that, like, for me, it's about helping you, not just, like, for me, building a personal brand is also a spiritual experience in a way where you're going to have to learn how to show up and be seen and get out of your comfort zone to get the results that you've never gotten, right? You have to do something different. So many of my students, especially from module 4, with all the workbooks I have in there for the branding module, they're just like rocked, because they're like, they've never done work like that. They have never been asked those kinds of questions. And quite honestly, they join the school and they're like, oh my God, this is so much more, like 2 weeks in, this is so much more than like I was even like investments, in 2 weeks they're like, all right, I've made back my investment. Like, this is the best thing ever. And so I just want you to know, like, you can't just learn the information, right? There has to be a psychological shift in the way that you see things. And so there is that aspect of like the science back, like proven changes that you can make to your brain in there, as well as the facts, right? The framework that I have created is something that has worked for 13 years. You're not going to see me being like, how I grew my account from 0 to 60K in 6 months. Like, yeah, you can do that with going viral, and I can teach you how to go viral. That's in there too. I had one of my students never go viral, and she went viral by accident, just following the framework, following like the proven strategies, and she didn't even try to. And so she got like 2 million followers or 2 million views. She was like, this is crazy, because like it never happened to her before. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, once you learn how to create the content, it's not about just creating content and throwing it at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Like, that's what most people do. You're just like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to try that. It's my notes. But it's about like figuring out what works so that you can do more of that, so that you can create your own custom content strategy. And that's what nobody's teaching out there. Nobody's teaching you how to create your own custom content strategy. They're saying, follow my strategy and you'll be successful. Niche down. Add value like incessantly to the point where people feel like you're just talking at them, and it's so freaking annoying. And then when that shit's run its course, where are you at? You're stuck. And that's what happened to a lot of people. I watched it and I was like trying to help them. They would go to somebody's training and they'd tell them they have to niche down, and they would hire them to tell them that, and then they come to me and they'd be like, it's not working yet, but I'm just gonna stay consistent, and like they're feeling burnt out. I'm like, why are you even like, that is completely unnecessary. Like, Instagram and content creation can come from a creative, happy, fun place. It doesn't have to be like, I have to talk about my supplements every day in order to sell my supplements. Like, that is a quick way to get burnt out. And then you wake up and you're like, how the fuck am I going to talk about hormones again today? It's like, because it's not real. It's not real, and it's going to run its course, and then you're going to feel burnt out, and then people are not going to want to follow you because, I mean, it's boring. Like, I don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to just share with you more about that, and just remind you too, like, Like, you could be making an extra, the time that you're here on Instagram, you could be making an extra $500 a week, an extra $5,000 a month, an extra $5,000 a week. Like, you could be making as much money as you want to be making if you understood how to grow on Instagram. There's so many also different ways to earn on Instagram. I just don't think that people realize, like, there's everything from, affiliates, social selling, all that kind of stuff that I think everybody and their mom has tried. But then there's also UGC, brand partnerships. You can actually even get paid through social media, like, to create reels. Like, Instagram is giving me bonuses right now, and I'm like, okay, sure, give me bonuses. And you can even create your own products, your own coaching, your own, like, everybody has their own genius, their own experiences, their own philosophies, right? What makes a thought leader? Somebody who is willing to take their thoughts and then put it into a program and teach other people about it. Where do you think 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous came from? It came from two dudes who, like, figured out this way that they seemingly got sober. And then they're like, we should turn this into a program and let's test it on people. Oh, it's working. Let's test it on more people. Oh, now it's like, it was just two fucking drunk dudes that created this program. And yet you don't think that you can create a program that can change people's lives? Like, come on. The only thing that makes somebody, like, the first to do something or a leader is the fact that they just go fucking do it, right? They stop thinking about it, or they stop thinking like, oh, I can't do that. And listen, the second that you judge somebody else and you're like, oh, they're not this or they're not that, you are stopping yourself from doing it, because by you judging them, you're judging yourself. You're not giving yourself the ability to be able to do those things either. So anyway, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my kiddos, but I put the link for the No Rules Branding School here. It's also my bio. It closes at midnight tonight. Last call till 2026. So if you want to get in there and you want to learn all of this and you want to be in a coaching environment with me for the next 12 weeks, I promise you, life will never be the same. But either way, I hope that you got some information out of this. You learned something, and I will hopefully see you in school. Okay, I lost connection. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow in the school for the kickoff party. And if you have any questions, let me